Either way.
We are direct with a special guest on She Leads and She Sells, who is Nicole Cramer. She is a best-selling speaker and sales coach who pushes away the salesy and helps people step into the connection, the conversations, and the sales psychology. Whether it be B2B sales, financial advising, health and wellness, and coaching industries, methods are industry agnostic. Former high school teacher like myself, she became the #1 salesperson in the nation at a Fortune 500 company and used that as the momentum to propel her coaching business. Now she takes stages nationwide on a mission to help businesses use sales conversations to build authentic relationships. She leads, she sells. Welcome, Nicole Cramer.
What a fun intro, Jay. Thank you. I'm excited.
Amazing. Tell me,
Tell
let's
me.
get straight into the meat and drink. What makes
Mhm.
your sales methodologies non-salesy? Like, hit us straight. Yeah. What makes it non-salesy? Why is it different?
Well, first of all, nobody wants to be salesy.
Mm.
I mean, I don't want to speak for everybody, I guess. Maybe some people do, but that was my big hang up when I first went into sales is I was so afraid of being salesy, and I really focused on people. And what I learned, that was kind of, I guess, an accident, if you will. Not that I was focusing on people. I just didn't know that could be that you could sell that way, that you could really focus on what people needed and helping them, and that's what sales really is. And so when I started to realize that that's actually what works and that's what made me successful, I was like, oh, I want to teach this to other people, because I had this whole misconception in my mind before I ever went into sales. I had a misconception that you had to be salesy. You had to be slick. You had to know all the right things to say. You had to know all the right things to do. And you had to have this perfect pitch. And so when I discovered that wasn't actually the case, and that you could show up and just ask questions and genuinely care about the people you were in front of and try to help them solve their problems, I thought, wow, well, that's a way of selling that I hope everybody knows. And that's how I started teaching it.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. How are you making the whole thing fun? I think one of your quotes is, hey, making the whole thing fun. How's it made fun with you?
On the heels of what I just said, if you're really focused on helping people and you're really focused on, like, to me, it's we all want to help. We all like helping people out. And if somebody has a need, if they have some kind of problem that they can't figure out or a need that they want to have solved, and you have the solution, problem, or idea that can help them do that, then you're helping them, right? And listen, if you have something that they don't need, then that's a whole different conversation. You shouldn't be trying to sell it to people if they don't need it. But to me, that's what makes it fun, because it's really about the other person. And I had this big aha when I first went into sales. Again, I had some hangups around it. I didn't want to be salesy. I didn't want to be pushy, but I liked the idea of making money, right? So there was that incentive. And I just was so worried about coming across as pushy. And I had this aha one day. I thought, well, you know what? If my prospects don't buy from me, what's going to happen? They're going to need to buy from somebody, because they still have the need. The need didn't go away just because they didn't buy from me. And I know for a fact nobody's going to work as hard as I will. I know for a fact that nobody cares as much as I do. And I know for a fact that nobody will go above and beyond like I will. And if that's the case, then how dare I let that person go to anybody else and buy from anybody else that wouldn't do as good of a job as me? And when I had that breakthrough, I thought, oh my God, why shouldn't it be me? I'm their best choice, and nobody's going to care as much as I do. And that really changed everything for me and about how I approach the conversations, because I realized if I'm not putting myself in the ring, if I'm not putting myself, my hat in the ring and myself in the game, then I'm letting them go to somebody else who's not going to do as good of a job as me. And that wasn't okay with me.
I can smell the certainty and conviction on your voice, Nicole, which I guess is one of the tools that you must help people with, certainty and stuff. One of your clients said she is an amazing listener and provides tangible tools to help whatever your challenge may be. Could you unravel and unpack some of the tools that you use in your sales repertoire?
I think the most important thing we can do, you mentioned the word certainty. And while I think there's a time and a place for certainty, I think the most important thing we can do is be curious and not be so certain. Now, there are some things you can be certain on. Like what you just heard me, the certainty you heard in what I was saying that's the certainty in me. right? I'm certain that I'm going to work hard. I'm certain that I'm going to do a good job. I'm not certain that things aren't going to go wrong. I'm not certain that things aren't going to go perfect, but I am certain that I'm going to show up for the people that I'm working with and the people that I'm helping. And so to me, it's curiosity is a huge tool, right? It's the only way we have to really show somebody that we care. And how do we stay curious? How do we demonstrate curiosity? We ask questions. So those are the tools that I really help my clients learn, and the skill set around how to ask the right questions. Those questions will get you everywhere in your conversations, and not just in your sales conversations, in all of your relationships in life. When we know how to stay curious and ask questions, we're demonstrating to the other person that we care about them. We're not just there to say, hey, look at me, look at me. We're there to say, hey, I'm going to be interested in you before I try to get you interested in me.
Well said, Nicole. Let me know a little bit about what types of questions, if we go deeper, like what specifically about the questions make them fit for purpose in the sales process.
The most important question we can ever find out, first and foremost, is why is somebody in a if we're talking specifically about sales conversations, why are they there? And we have to remember that if someone has entered into a sales conversation with us, it's not because they didn't have anything better to do that day. It's not because they don't have a problem. Nobody wakes up one morning and goes, oh, I don't have anything to do. There's nothing on my calendar. Let me see what sales calls I can get in just for shits and gigs, see what it's all about, right? They're legit there because there's something that they are interested in. So the most important question we can ask right off the bat is, what has you interested in this conversation today? Or what about, depending on what you sell, what your idea, your product, your service is, what has you interested in discussing X, Y, and Z? Or what had you want to have this conversation today? And when we first start with what their reason is for being there, that's a really good place to start, because we always have to remember that people only do things for one reason,
So,
theirs. Mhm. That's the only reason any of us ever do anything. We do things for our reasons, not anybody else's. And so if someone has entered into a conversation with you, it is not your job to pitch them. It's not your job to show up and start trying to be interested. It's your job to find out why they're there. And one of the questions that I really like to have people ask right off the bat is, what will make our conversation a success for you? Like you obviously want to be here to talk for some reason, right? And so I want to find out, what is that reason? And so I would say to somebody, if they've come to me to say that they're interested in talking to me about it, great, happy to have a conversation. What will make our conversation a success for you? And then you find out from the very beginning, are they there to make a decision? Are they there to explore? Are they there to learn more? I don't know why they're there, but I want to know, because I know people do things for their reasons, not mine.
thank you for sharing. What does leadership look like to you? I mean, you've unpacked sales. Leadership for myself revolves around emotional intelligence, tapping into that self-awareness and also the empathy um, about others. How about for you, like leadership?
For me, and I learned this the hard way many times, I thought leadership was about understanding how to tell others what to do and how to show up and lead by teaching. And what I learned is we lead by teaching by how we lead ourselves, right? People don't do what we say. They do what we do. And so if you really want to lead people, learn how to lead yourself. And that will help people do whatever it is that you're looking to have influence around. Show it, demonstrate it, because people will do what you do. They won't do what you say.
Amazing. What's your big goal for 2026? I know you are a prolific speaker. I know you've got 3 great programs. You got your 30-day VIP intensive and your one-to-one private coaching and things like this. So around your product suite, or just in terms of your mission, what is this plan for you for 2026?
Empower more people with the ability to influence and help people make decisions. Um, I think that is the highest form of freedom that we can give ourselves, and we understand how to influence others and help others make decisions. So that's always a big goal of mine. I'm going to speak internationally this year, so I get to put international speaker, and I'm going to do a TEDx talk. So that's something that I'm really excited about. And so those are some of my forward-facing goals.
Yeah, that makes sense. We all human, we all have the primal brain. Like, what trips you up, like in terms of executing upon your visions and your goals?
Me, I'm the thing that is the reason that it happens or the reason that it doesn't happen. And I think that no matter what, our relationship, like I teach a lot on relationships and connection and influence and curiosity. The thing that we need to do that the most with is ourselves. Stay curious with yourself. Develop that relationship. How do you talk to yourself? Are you
Mm,
asking those kind of questions to yourself, right? Am I asking myself, what will make this day a success for me? I just told you in any sales conversations, we should start with what will make this conversation a success for you. Do you ask yourself every morning, what will make this day a success for me? Why am I here? What's my purpose today? And get curious with yourself and know that you're a human being and it's your first time living too, and you're not going to have it all figured out and it's not all going to go the way you want it to go. But how can you be kind and curious to yourself and still find a way to show up, because shit's going to get hard and things aren't going to go well all the time. And I think that's the biggest opportunity that we all have.
amazing. Thanks for sharing that. I think for me, like the way I see sales is mindset coaching, like really changing the frame, mindset coaching. And you cannot take someone in sales somewhere that you've not been yourself. And that's why it's something that's going to reveal your character in a certain respect. In that regard, what mindset tools, strategies, rituals do you have in your locker to help your clients to break through?
I mean, you said it so well, Jay. You can only take clients or anyone as far as you've gone yourself. So I think that checking in with yourself and making sure you understand where you're going is a really important piece, because, it's like if you get in your car and you just start driving around, you'll end up wherever you end up. But if you have a goal, if you know where you're going, then you're going to be much more likely to get there. So I think it's being really clear what's important to you, what matters to you. We all want to have significance. We all live lives, and they happen to fly by a lot faster than I think we realize that they're going to. And so, do we know where we're going? Do we know where we're headed? Do we know what's important to us? And I think that's something that doesn't always have to be the same exact thing, right? We evolve and change throughout our lives, but I think that's one of the things that I like to check in with myself and do the most. What are my commitments that I'm making to myself? What are my non-negotiables? And we fall to the level of our standards. And so I think having your standards and understanding what those are and knowing how to be flexible with yourself as you grow and evolve, is one of the best ways to develop a relationship with yourself and develop self-trust, which I think is one of the most important things that we can all work on at all times.
Great answer. Well laid out there. Wishing you luck, obviously, with your TED Talks and your speaking engagements in 2026. Tell me who you serve in general. Is it 50% B2B, 50% B2C, coaches? Like who normally gravitates to Nicole?
Offer, I mean, for my speaking, it's a lot of B2B. Um, and I would say for my coaching programs, it's a lot of B2C. It's entrepreneurs, it's sales professionals, it's people who understand the importance of having influence in their conversations, and they want to up level themselves professionally and personally, and that's what my programs do for people. So I would say it's a good combo of both, depending on what my offer is.
Makes sense. Who are you looking to connect with in general? Is there a specific type of person that you're looking to connect with?
Yeah, I mean, I love empowering women. I love helping all people, but I think that there's a soft spot in my heart for women because I am one, and I understand what an opportunity there is right now in the world for women to step into a bigger, um, I guess a bigger opportunity in their lives, to have more influence, to be more of who they are. And we've got a visitor back there,
Yeah, exactly.
and she's a woman too. She's like, wait,
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
Um, and I say all that because that is always going to be something very important to me to empower women. But I think more than anything, I want to help people who understand the importance of helping people, right? Who understand that selling is serving, and that by helping yourself and being the best version of yourself, then you are helping people, and people who are really focused on self development. Because I know that when we help ourselves, we help all the people around us, because that gives us influence. People see what we do, and that influences them to be better in their own lives.
Amazing. Let them know how they can get in contact with you specifically. And yeah,
So there's a few places I spend a lot of time. One of them is Instagram at the Nicole Cramer. Would love to hear from you. Send me a DM. I have a great sales script. I'm happy to share with you. It's made a lot of people a lot of money. So reach out to me in DM. We'll be happy to share that. I'm also on Facebook quite actively. And I also have a YouTube channel that has a lot of content on there that a lot of people find to be very helpful. Any of those three places, would love to connect with you.
Not big on LinkedIn.
I am on LinkedIn. I probably am a lot more active regularly on the other two. Yeah. But I'm new.
No,
I'll check in there. So if you're a LinkedIn user, feel free. Please connect with me there as well.
it's been a real honor to connect. I know you've got lots of big projects coming up. We both cut our teeth in high schools teaching, and so there's always that us teachers stick together. So which is amazing.
It's true. We have to stick together.
She leads, she sells. God bless Nicole. God bless the United States of America. She leads, she sells.